Hi there, I'm Christine Dunbar from SpeechModification.com, and this is my Smart American Accent training. In this video, we'll look at how to pronounce generous and generosity. So there are two correct pronunciations for each of these words. We'll talk about both and when you might use them. In the word generous, the main pronunciation has 3 syllables. Generous. It has first syllable stress. The letter J or the letter G says the J sound. I've rewritten that for you here with letter J. We also use the J sound with letter J in words like job and jump. It's the letter G in words like general, generous, and generosity. The symbol for that sound is this J sound. It's an affricate. You move the tongue from the D position into the J position with a voice on J, J. Generous. Letter E says the sound, and then the second letter E is either dropped if it sounds like 2 syllables, generous, or it's a schwa, a fast, reduced syllable, generous, generous. You definitely don't want to have a lot of length on it, not generous, generous. It's going to be fast if it's there, or it might also be dropped. And then finally, OUS also just has a reduced schwa sound. Letter S says S in generous. Where we would use each pronunciation, you can use either in either case, but typically I would say if the word is stressed, for example, he is very generous, I might say the full version. If I'm using it more as an unstressed part of my sentence, like he gave a very generous gift, generous, I might reduce it down to the 2 syllables. When in doubt, you can use the 3 syllables. That's always going to be correct. Just as I said, don't have too much length on that middle syllable. There's kind of an in-between sound, right? Generous, generous. That middle syllable is so fast that sometimes it's almost fully dropped, or it is fully dropped. Then when it comes to generosity, we have the same sounds except for a different spelling here, and our stress is on the 3rd syllable. So now our letter O says ah. So whereas in generous, at the end here we just had the reduced sound, now in generosity, ra has the clear vowel and the length because it's the stress syllable. We still have the same pronunciation of gen, and then again, generosity, this sound can be very reduced or almost dropped. I don't think I usually typically will drop that entirely. I don't usually say generosity. I almost always will say generosity, but it does go by very quickly and it isn't a very important syllable. And then at the end of generosity, we have our typical letters ity ending with a reduced I sound, a flap T, and a tense E at the end. If that gives you trouble, just watch out that you want to make sure you have D with a light flap, the tense E sound even though it's not stressed, and that lax I sound in the beginning. You can check out my videos for other words with ity at the end, like quality and quantity, to teach you about this pattern. That's also something we cover in our Sounds of English course in detail to help you combine those sounds for this common suffix on words. Once you can say generous and generosity by themselves, do try practicing them in some short phrases like I modeled earlier. Thank you for your generosity. Generosity is a very important trait. It's always great to be as generous as possible. And thank you for your generosity, those of you who have been supporting the channel by liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, and especially those of you who have joined as channel members. I appreciate your support and your generosity. I'll be back again tomorrow with another word of the day, and on Saturday we'll cover your questions in our live question and answer class. I hope you can join us. If you need more help for the sounds in these words, as I mentioned earlier, check out our online courses on SpeechModification.com. They're a great way to build a strong foundation to understand all of English pronunciation, sounds, and spelling, and to correct accent error patterns you may have. You can find those on our website, SpeechModification.com. Thanks, everyone. Looking forward to seeing you in our next class. I'm Christine Dunbar from SpeechModification.com. Remember, if you want to sound like a native speaker, you can do it. SpeechModification.com. Bye, everyone. Hope to see you again soon.